working through lesson 8 in access. We're going to go through renaming a table, relationships, deleting relationships, enforcing referential integrity, showing related records, and then printing a relationship report. Alright, so when you go down, trial 8, get this started. Okay, renaming a table is pretty simple. In navigation pane, which is over here on the left, remember, we're going to right click members and then rename. So we're going to right click members, go down to rename, and then we're going to type students. So members, we're going to change it to students, and then from here you just hit enter. That's all there is. So again, right click, rename, type whatever you want, hit enter. That's all there is to renaming a table. Alright, now for the rest of the lesson we're going to be dealing with relationships. Relationships are basically how data is related from table to table. So on the database tools tab right here, we want to go to relationships, and then you want to go to show table, and it's going to show all our tables that we have right here in our database. Alright, we're going to drag classes. You can just double click, it's usually easier, and then so double click classes, and then also class offerings, and then you can close that if you want to get that out of the way. And usually you want to go ahead and expand these so you can see all the fields within that table, because it's going to make it a whole lot simpler. We're going to take the class ID field from the classes table. So here's the name of your tables, and then these are the fields. So we want to take class ID field from the classes table. So class ID from classes, we're going to drag it, so click down on the mouse button, hold it down. You're going to drag and drop it on the class field in the class offerings. And when you do that, edit relationships window is going to pop up. And from here, we're just going to hit create, and it's going to give you a line. So these two are related to one another. Alright, so from here, we need to go through, bring in some more tables. So to get our table list back, you go to show table again. And we are going to add students and class enrollment. So students, class enrollment. Alright, and you'll notice that we have lines starting to cross over, go around each other, and you can move these around so that your lines aren't all crossed up. It'll keep everything a lot simpler. And again, if you have something where you have to scroll, be sure to go ahead and expand that so you can see all the fields. Alright, from here, creating a relationship with referential integrity. You want to take the instructor ID from instructors table. So we need to add our instructors apparently. So you want to take instructors ID from your instructors table and drag it to instructor field in class offerings. Instructor field in class offerings. Alright, from here you want to enforce referential integrity, which allows you to put check boxes here. Okay, cascade update related fields means if one field changes in this table, it's going to affect this one also. Cascade delete means if a record's deleted here, it's deleted here also. So just hit create, and then you'll have that join line. Okay, these are called join lines. Alright, now we're getting lines crossing up again, so you can kind of move stuff around however you want. Okay, modifying existing relationship to enforce. Alright, so you want to double click the connector line between the class ID field and the class field. So right here, and you'll notice when you click on the line, it's bold. So if you don't click on it correctly, if you're close to it, it's not going to change bold. So if it's not bold, you haven't selected it. So you can double click the line. It's going to bring up edit relationships. We're going to do enforce referential integrity, and then we're going to do both update and delete records. Hit OK, and then you'll have one to infinity, one to many. Sorry, it's one to many. Alright, deleting. So if you've got a relationship and you did it wrong, you need to delete it. You want to click the connector between class offerings and classes table here. So select it, just hit you can right click, delete, hit yes. You want to delete the relationship, and that's all there is to that. Alright, now it says you want to recreate it again. So class ID to class, and then it doesn't have us doing referential integrity this time. Just hit create. Alright, showing related records. Okay, on this one now, we need to go to open our classes table. So double click your classes table. You'll notice you have these little expand buttons. You have expand is a plus sign, and collapse is the minus. So expand, all these little plus signs, they're called expand buttons. Whenever you get the minus signs, they're collapse. It's not plus and minus, it's expand and collapse. Alright, so we're going to click the expand sign next to the first record, and then it gives you a subdata sheet. So this is a class table. The subdata sheet is class offerings, and then you hit the expand again, and then it brings up the enrollment. So you have your data sheet, your subdata sheet, and then your subdata sheet. Alright, and if you want to collapse all of them at one time, you can just hit the collapse button, and you'll have that there. Alright, right click classes, close that. Okay, changing the subdata sheet, we're going to open the class offerings table. We're going to expand the subdata sheet for the first record, and it says the book says, notice that the subdata sheet shows the instructors table. Alright, so we're going to collapse the subdata sheet. On the home tab in the records group, so home tab in the records group, you want to go to more. We're going to go subdata sheet, and then subdata sheet again. And then from here, we're going to use instructors. Hit OK. So now we have Wendy Reynolds and then her class offerings. So that's how that works. So that's how you can insert a subdata sheet. Alright, you want to right click class offerings tab, close it, hit yes. You want to save the changes. And then the last thing here, printing your relationship report. Okay, you can actually go through and print this. If you had a lot of relationships, you had a large database, it would probably be helpful to know how everything's related to everything here. So go to design, go to relationship report, and it brings up a preview. And you notice that this is going on to the second page if you come down here to the bottom. So you could either move it closer or change it to layout if you wanted to. So if you go change it landscape, change it to landscape, and then it'll all fit on one page. And then just hit print, and that is it for lesson 8.